NFC stands for Not From Concentrate, and my mission is to help makers like you bring your bold, creative visions to life. 3D means that, well, this case is totally 3D printed, no other tools required. LP, well, that's the hardware. This case is built for low-profile GPUs like the A2000 or 5060 LP, generous-sized CPU coolers, and flex power supplies. First question I'm probably gonna get asked is, how big is it? Well, at 6.2 liters, it's not breaking any records. But here at NFC, we've already done that many times. This one's about something else. Ease. It's easy to print, quick to assemble, fun to build in, runs cool, and is strong enough for everyday ITX use. And that's the problem I wanted to solve. I didn't want to just make a case that looks cool, but actually is cool and 3D printed. The secret is in the shell. An exoskeleton that has all the delicate bits slide into and lock down with just 2 screws. I designed it to avoid supports with most materials because after my RetroTosh build, I knew that good 3D printed design has to be designed for 3D printing, not treated as an afterthought. Okay, so it looks really simple, but that was the hardest part. The interior takes advantage of build plate textures for visual polish and is assembled with Superglue. Yeah, okay, I know, Superglue? But here's the thing, PLA and PETG bond extremely well and let me get thinner walls, tighter geometries, and overall better results. It's just the right tool for the job. So to get a design this simple, I had to know a little bit about 3D printing. I needed to know about layer orientation, infill strategy, ramping, how cutouts can actually strengthen a part if they follow the right path, and I guess the front piece is my favorite example of what I've learned. I spent the most time on it and drew on Eric's ironing techniques, Drew's exposed floor trick, and a few of my own, like exposing the ceiling and using support modifiers to bring a boring part to life. The result is something visually complex with great airflow and strength. It even hides internals from most angles. I think it's gorgeous. Now the GPU is secured mostly through the PCIe slot, but I added a brace in the rear that locks it in tight and stiffens up the back panel. The best part? You can print the whole thing in PLA. That's how good the thermals are. Efficient parts with a blower card, and 2 mounted 92mm fans kept it cool to the touch, even when I lost track of time when playing Expedition 33. HT-PLA is ideal, but I wanted to use up some of the really cool colorful colors that I've been stacking in my closet. On the side, there's a slot for a logo insert. I've been experimenting with multicolor AMS techniques, and these inserts can bring real personality to the case. The stock one uses my angel wing logo, but you can customize it however you want. Just try not to overuse the exposed infill look like I might have done here. Let's talk about the hardware that I used to test this case out, and a big thank you to a viewer who made this dream build possible. Oh man, I couldn't have done without you. You know who you are, and thank you. It's built around the Minis Forum BD790i X3D, a motherboard CPU combo that's just perfect for small builds. It runs cool, has a great layout, tons of M.2 support, and it can drive powerful GPUs. You've probably seen the A2000 featured on our channel over and over again, but this new version takes everything up a notch. It's cool running, even more efficient, and super moddable. Pricey? Yeah, but not outlandishly so. Cooling is handled by the Noctua A1225 mounted on the Minis Forum built-in heatsink. For case fans, I tried 92mm RGB fans from ID Cooling and set them to no RGB. But the star of the show? The power supply. It's the 300-watt modular Flexguru from FSP. It's quiet for its class, well built, and the modular cables make life so much easier in small form factor builds. Best of all, I can say hello to my friends at FSP. Hello, Jerry and Vicky. Hope you're doing well and you're liking the videos so far. Now, I didn't bother modding cables for this build because I wanted to show off that there's plenty of room to hide them in a very neat, organized, and airflow friendly way. The case lets you route smaller wires like the fan header cables underneath the motherboard. I used electrical tape to keep them low profile and ran thicker cables over the power supply but under the cooler. Clean and effective. I also designed a 2-piece shroud for the cooler that adds texture, hides cables, and guides airflow from the front fans to the rear. It even mounts the power switch, which you can press through the NFC scone slot vent pattern. So how's it run? Really well. I beat almost half of Expedition 3 on this box, and like I said, it remained icy cold to the touch. Extremely impressive. The BD790i X3D is just so good. It's so efficient, very strong, and I really just think it's the best choice. I know it's really cool and neat to get a 9800 X3D and stick it in a small form factor build, but guys, it's just physics. There's not a lot of headroom in these small builds, but this This platform is built for it. Okay, the hardware is really cool, but why did I say that the power supply is the star of the show? Well, a lot of my small form factor builds use really tiny exotic power supplies where you have to hand wire things, and they're just complicated. Making this a flex power supply build just means it's a lot more accessible for people to build over the weekend. So here's a few build tips to keep it a weekend project. Number one, first and foremost, always build and test your system outside of your case. Every time that I skip this rule, I regret it. Number two, use glue on your build plate. I strongly recommend bed weld. For print settings, pay close attention to how wall paths connect with openings like nutsert press-ins. Only the front bezel uses supports, and even that can be done without dedicated support filament if you tweak the interface layers and Z-height. Because the shell is tall and thick, you'll need serious ventilation to avoid warping. Open the top and the front door as much as you can while printing, especially for matte PLA. When using Superglue, go easy. I use liquid, not gel, and clamps. I've linked my favorite clamps below. They're strong, reliable, and don't fall apart. Speed clamps are great too for certain fixturing. Now, be sure to put in the comments what you think is the best way to glue parts together. I've tried a lot, but I'm really liking the thin Superglue. Assembly-wise, the interior frame slots into the shell at an angle. If you've already installed the fans, it's a bit of a trick, but it does work. If you're using the shroud I designed for the BD790i, install it after the frame is inserted. I use 3M Scotch mounting tape to secure it. It's heat resistant and clean to remove. Continuing with the controversial mounting choices, I used a plastic screw to secure the GPU in place. You could modify this part to have a press-in nutsert, but to be honest, you could just reprint this part if you end up stripping it. The front bezel could probably use plastic screws too, but I didn't want to risk over-tightening an already delicate part that does take a while to print. Heat certs are pretty easy to install. Simply get your soldering iron out, heat it up, and let the soldering iron do the work with your hand as a weight pressing it in. Don't push it in, just let it kind of go in there slowly. Now I use a tool to help hold down the top of the brass cert to pull my soldering iron tip out, but depending on which tip you use, that might not be necessary. Okay, so last tip, some fans, the hubs move up significantly when they start spinning. This is a problem with the ID cooling fans because there was not enough clearance, so they were hitting the front of the bezel. No problem, I just used stick-on washers. You could 3D print your own if you needed to. So this design is not final, but it is launching at version 4. I will have some ideas for version 5, but I want to get this in the hands of my Patreon supporters first, as a big thank you for feeding me what I worked on this project. Eventually, I will publish a 3MF on MakerWorld with all the settings already baked in for bamboo printers. But until that time, if you want one of these, you can buy one from us in any color or material that your heart desires, and we can even work on the little logo inset for you. So sincerely, I do want to hear from you in the comments what you think of the 3D LP. Is this moving in the right direction for more stuff that you'd like to see from me? Just let me know. Big thanks to the viewers who sent in parts for this build. Thank you so much to Patreon for helping fund it, for Minis Forum and SFP for being supportive of the channel, and thank you guys for watching this. This isn't a sponsored video. I'm just really enthusiastic about this particular hardware. It's stuff that I actually buy for me, my family, my friends, and what I recommend my customers purchase themselves. All right, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Until next time, peace.